Wake up, Jacob. It's me, IP, and if you're rocking with the tribe, like, share, subscribe. And in this video, I'll be talking about what does afflict your soul mean? Alright guys, the Day of Atonement is upon us and we are approaching Tabernacle. So I was just doing the Day of Atonement last night, but some people will be doing it tonight. All right, or night before last. Some people did it last night, and so this video is not about the date or when you do it, but I do want to address a concern that a lot of people in Israel have, and that is, what does it mean to afflict our soul? What is that? What does that mean? Then obviously people say, hey, set aside a fast, and so it begs the obligatory question, well, where does this whole idea of fasting come from? When we look at it, it doesn't say that, and they have a point there. But let's go ahead and answer that question for you, okay? So we find it obviously in Leviticus 16, and we find it also in Leviticus 23. So let's look at the verse. Leviticus 23 and 26, or I should say 27, it said, also on the 10th day of the 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Okay, so that part people want to know, well, what is this whole afflict your soul is? You know, and the funny thing is, if we look at the meaning behind the word afflict, it is not going to give us the answer we are looking for. So I'm going to look at afflict, which is the Hebrew word 6031, okay? And it's ana. Okay, so we have to know what does ana means in the Hebrew. All right, now if we go to the lexicon, it's going to say to be occupied, to be busy. So does it mean that we need to be busy and frantic and running around? It says to afflict, to oppress, or to humble. Now some of these words are going to jump out at you because they're going to be very important for us to remember. To be afflicted, to be bowed down, to be put down, to become low, to be depressed, to be downcast, to be afflicted, to stoop, to humble oneself. I want you to remember that. To bow down, to be afflicted, to be humble, to be mishandled. Does it mean that we need to be mishandled? To afflict, to humble, to humiliate, to weaken oneself, to be afflicted, to be humbled, to humble oneself, to be afflicted. Okay, so when you get into the Strongs, it used even harsher language. It says the idea of looking down or browbeating, to depress, to literally or figuratively. Okay, it is abase oneself, to chasten oneself, to deal hardly with, to defile oneself, to exercise, to force. Then it also says gentleness or humble, hurt, ravish. You know, all these things, submit yourself. All these things, and it still doesn't quite give us an answer, because if we go by what it literally says in the Strongs, then you would think that you would beat yourself. You can have a bunch of us beating each other up, you know, punching each other in the face, a guy with a cat o' nine tails whipping himself and punishing himself and stuff like that. That's not the type of affliction that it is talking about. It is talking about a different kind of affliction, and we're going to deal with that right here. Now, in order to help us out, simply we can go to Psalm 35 and 13. Okay, if we go to Psalm 35 and 13, it says, but as for me, when they were sick, my clothing were sackcloth, and I humbled or ana myself with fasting. So he humbled himself. So when we looked at the definition of affliction, we did see a number of times where it said he humbled himself. Now, this scripture tells us how he humbled himself, and he did it with fasting. Okay, so this is the idea of where the fasting was coming from, right? But that's not the only verse that we're going to go to. We're also going to go to Ezra chapter 8. If we go to Ezra chapter 8 and verse 21, and that's going to give us another idea, which reads, then I proclaimed a fast there at the river Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones and for all of our substance. Okay, so for us and our children, we want to afflict ourselves. So that's what that's where it comes from. So to afflict yourself, to humble yourself, to weaken yourself, one of the definitions to weaken yourself. When you are hungry, do you not feel pretty weak? I mean, when you're starving, I mean, you're just like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. So you're definitely focused on your soul, yourself. You're very self-focused, which in a way it's okay, because we're talking about an atonement. We have to atone for ourselves. So we need to focus ourselves. Okay, and we need to focus on the atonement that the Messiah has given to us. Now, with that, since we have an idea that, okay, fasting is a form of afflicting ourselves, then we should look at how we should fast. Okay, so let's take a look at that. If we go to Matthew 6 and start at verse 16, we have an idea. Moreover, when ye fast, be not as the hypocrites, of a sad countenance, for they disfigure their faces, that they may appear unto men to fast. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But thou, when thou fastest, anoint thy head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father which is in secret. And thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Okay, so a lot of people, when they go to fast, remember, you can't be like, oh, I'm fasting. Oh, I'm fasting for the Most High. I'm fasting for the Lord. I'm fasting for my Jesus. You can't have that, because that is your reward. When people pity you and be like, oh my, wow, he's really going all out for God, you know, hey, that's your reward. So you don't want to do that. So dust yourself off, brush yourself off, anoint your head, wash your face. Don't even appear as if you are fasting. Now, one little quick caveat before I let you out here is, when you're fasting with the other brethren and you fasting with your family, you know, with your children, stuff like that, you guys all doing the same thing. You know that you guys are fasting, okay? So it's no big deal. But it's to those who may not even know you're fasting, okay? Don't let them know you're fasting by your countenance, by your face, being long-faced and everything. Cheer up, brighten up. This is an atonement. This is a fast. This is a fast. This is a sacrifice to the Most High God and to the Messiah. So I hope that it helped someone. I hope someone has been edified. Those are my thoughts. Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash that notification bell. I don't want you to miss any of the comment. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Israelite Prepper.